Hey friends, Dr. Sherry here with another Little Lies, Big Truths moment. And this comes to you from a little bit of a different perspective, but I have been asked so much from the time that I shifted being a clinical psychologist to, speaking and writing and now coaching and podcasting and now starting a nonprofit. I've been asked a lot why I stopped doing what I used to do. And a while back, when I first started doing clinical work, I worked with kids. That was the very first population that I worked, well, not the first population, but the first one that I specialized in was kids. And yeah, I was really good at it, and God gave me gifts to be good at that. And it gave me a lot of insight into what kids were learning from their parents, what ideals and values and beliefs and truths that they told themselves, what they were learning from their parents, the world, their teachers, their peers. It gave me some insight into that. And very often then, when I worked with kids, I would require that the parent be an active participant, right? Like it was never like your parent is separate and you're the problem, right? It was always, this is a relationship dynamic issue, and we have to learn to work through this together because we don't operate in isolation. And so one of the questions that parents used to tell me, they used to say, well, how long is this going to take for you to, fix them or whatever? And I said, well, first, they're not broken. Second, it's going to take as long as it takes. It might be the work of a lifetime. For many of us, our mental, emotional, and relationship health is the work of a lifetime. And that is a good thing because that means you are investing in your personal development and growth, right? It's not a bad thing. We are not intended to be fixed. We are not broken. We have things, we have gifts that we can use to get what we want in life, and get what we want, I mean to serve other people. So let me get back to the point. So I had one parent say, well, you've seen them like 4 times. And I just haven't really seen a lot of changes. And one of the things that I made very clear to them was this truth. That as a traditionally practicing clinical psychologist, I had their child, son or daughter, for 1 hour per week. Okay, so there are 168 hours in a week. I had them for 1. And so my response was, you have them as a family, your unit, what they're exposed to, what they see, what they're watching, what they're listening to, happens the other 167 hours of the week. And you're wondering why there's minimal progress in 1 hour a week. And it wasn't a snarky reply. It was a serious, come to Jesus moment. Like, your kid, your child is going to have the greatest impact from you, right? And so that is when my work and my desire to work with people started to shift towards women. You might say, well, why not parents in general? Well, I'll tell you why. Because women, I believe, and I'm far from a feminist, although I love women because I am one, and we're pretty awesome. We were designed to be pretty awesome. So we are the influencers. We can be the world changers, but in order for us to do that, in order for us to introduce hope-filled, truth-filled, confidence-filled, conflict navigation skills-filled, emotional management-filled, in order for us to pass those on to the people who are watching us, because yes, they're watching. Even if you don't have kids, people are watching you. It could be your nieces and nephews. It could be your friends' kids. It could be your friends, other women who are watching you. People are watching women. They're watching to see how they will respond. They're watching to see how they navigate change. And there's a lot of change, right? People say, I'm just not good with change. Well, what if you had the ability to change the world by first changing yourself? You see, the world is watching women. First of all, children are watching women. Daughters are watching their mothers. They are watching their grandmothers. They are watching for how they navigate conflict. They are watching for how they manage their emotions. They are watching for the truths that they tell themselves about the thoughts and feelings that they have. They are watching for their value, for their identity. They are watching, they're going, oh, Mom or Aunt Judy or Grandma always talks about their weight. They always talk about how they They just can't lose weight, how their body just doesn't measure up, and they're always talking about this. What message do you think that's communicating to the people watching? That our value, our worth, our identity is in our package, in what you see, right? And then we wonder why daughters, children grow up obsessed with their appearance. Because as women, there's always been a tendency to follow that patriarchal lead, if you will, that we matter when this matters, that we matter and we have place when this matters. Women, you have the ability to impact the world by changing how you see yourself first. Because when you change how you see yourself, when you change where your identity, your worth, your value, your ability to navigate your emotions, your ability to handle conflict in a relationship, when you change that for yourself, the people who are watching you, they have permission to change. So going back to when I used to work with kids, yeah, I can work with kids. I can give them hope. You know, there's nonprofits that work with teenagers. But the bottom line is, if the people who are directly involved in the kids' lives, and that's women, the primary caregivers in most situations, if they haven't learned how to master their thought world, how to navigate life through a lens that gives them the mental, emotional, and relationship stability that they desire, their kids won't either. So people are watching, and that's why I work with women, because they're watching you, they're watching me, they're watching us, and we have the power to influence and change the world, right? A woman that changes her world can change the world. So listen, friends, if you've been wondering why I don't work with children anymore, there's your long and short answer. And that's why my nonprofit, Thriving Thoughts Global, is dedicated to helping women change the way they feel, think, and do. Because people are watching. And you are the world changers. So I hope that encourages you today. If it does, get down below. Let me know. Will you share this with another woman who needs to hear it? That she has the power to change the world when she changes her world. All right, friends. Remember to always speak truth over the lies, and you'll thrive in any and every circumstance.